This is Maya from the Worldwide Good News, and I have Vicky B, the inspirational video woman, girl, awesome lady that is she's taking up the YouTube channels by storm. So, Vicky, you have a lot of good news to share. For years, you've been doing this kind of self-exploration of how to become happier, how to, get into the self-esteem, higher self-esteem. How did you start it? And, I know that you also wrote a book about it, and you have the video series about it. So tell us, where did it start, and how did it develop?
About 20 years ago, my husband, he basically ran the largest training company for personal development, human potential in Europe. And so we were kind of like we were the agents for Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn and all these fantastic, great guys. So I was really immersed into the whole scene about 20 years ago. And my husband, being in that space, was a very kind of like, positive and pumped up, overexcited individual. And at the time, I actually wasn't. I was actually going through a really bad space of depression and just not feeling very good about myself. And so rather belligerently, I was dragged along to all of these seminars, which were great, but they were aimed at men mainly. They were just sort of, very male focused. And I was walking on coals and this and being dragged and doing woe claps and what have you. And I actually never felt afterwards that any of the stuff that we were taught in the seminars were, lasting, enduring techniques for raising self-esteem and getting me out of this depression. So I went on this 2-year sort of total extravaganza of experiencing different types of therapies, and I was tiddling about with crystals and God knows what else and howling at the moon, and I basically, none of it really kind of gave me what I needed, which was sustained self-esteem and happiness. And I then started to kind of like look at people around me and go, okay, there are people here who have been to hell and back. They've had physical abuse, mental abuse, and yet they actually think life is really good and they're quite positive. And then you've got other people on the flip side who are have had everything, and basically their lives are completely messed up. And I was thinking, well, okay, so what's going on here? And what I came to the conclusion is that basically our circumstances are not necessarily responsible for how we feel. It's more to do with our character and character flaws. And that's actually rather a tough thing to swallow.
You took a lot of those ideas, and did you start writing the book before, or was the book like the culmination of all this self-research that you did, all these different workshops that you took and different self-exploration? Did the book come out of there? Because one of the biggest things you said is that what you found is character, right? Character is what changes us.
Yeah. The book came out of this 2-year exploration, and when I started doing some seminars, to women, I'm gradually building up, and I found a lot of them because a lot of them had a lot of really big problems in their lives, and they'd been seeing people and talking to them, and they hadn't really sort of been getting any better. And the problem with constantly talking about your problems, blaming the past, this, something along your circumstances, is that it weakens you internally, and you start to become, a victim. And all of us have got struggles, every single person, and it's how we deal with it. So I'm not certainly sort of decrying psychotherapy or this or what have you, but what I am saying is that there are a lot of people out there who actually don't really want to get better. They don't want to feel better about themselves, because it's actually rather nice having somebody to talk to and to, spill the guts to, and be indulged within that sort of weakness. And what I found was that by getting people to embrace courage, embrace responsibility, embrace discipline, very Dickensian sounding old-fashioned thing, embrace activity, get moving, get off your butt and get out there and start doing stuff, people actually started to feel better about themselves, because what you're doing is, rather than trying to make yourself feel differently about yourself, you're turning into somebody that you actually feel better about. And you can't trick the brain into, you know, if you feel like a sort of, you know, utterly oversized repellent prune, it's very difficult to start feeling good about yourself, because you know that you're not feeling great and saying, oh, you know, you've got to start doing stuff in your life that allows you to feel good about who you are. And that is what character development is all about.
That's awesome. I mean, and that's so true, because you're saying wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
It's the old sensei, you know, Karate Kid, but actually going back to the path of Zen and all the good old mastery of self disciplines talk about. It's not about sitting and just, sitting and just meditating, or sitting and just doing that. I mean, the whole realm of yoga was created so you could sit and meditate. Meditation was the last thing, like getting to that happiness, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, was the last thing that came after your seva. You're actually daily, routinely doing stuff for others but yourself.
Yeah.
Your yoga.
Yeah.
You know, you were doing exercise. So it wasn't about, oh, I'm going to try and make myself happy. No, you're saying, and I completely agree with you, do the work. Do the steps works. And you have courage and discipline and work on yourself and get outside of yourself so you can actually, at the end of the day, come back to yourself and you actually find that you're at the house of happiness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know, the problem is that we get analysis paralysis, and, you know, thinking about stuff too much actually puts you into a fearful state. And that's what I found. And I've been in situations where I'm one of those people. I've always thought, yeah, I can do that, you know, overly confident. And then this is the process. I start to do it. I've had several small businesses. In fact, I've just sold an advertising company, which I set up having had no previous experience. And so I would sort of like go headlong into stuff, which is okay. And then I would suddenly get paralyzed by fear and think, crumbs, actually, I don't really know what I'm doing. But the way round about that is just to push on through the fear. You have to push on through the fear, and you have to force yourself to pick up the phone and make that call, you know, get down to weight, force yourself to get down to Weight Watchers. You absolutely have to force it. There's no other way around it. You have to force yourself to do these things. Keep moving in the right direction. And you know what? We've all got this internal guidance system built into us. We were born with all of these character traits that I talk about. They are actually, this is the good news, is that they already are firmly in there. It's a case of embracing them, bringing them out, giving a polish, and, you know, working with them, because they actually work in accordance with natural laws of life. You know, you move towards responsibility, you move towards activity, you move towards trust and compassion. Life suddenly gets a hell of a lot better. But it's when we shy away from those things, or we have no self-awareness of the fact that we're actually not cultivating them, then that's when the problems start. We live unconsciously. And so with all of these things, you know, sure, it's, you know, sometimes it is a bit scary. It's scary getting out of bed in the morning sometimes, you know, if you switch on the bad news. But what you've got to do is you just got to push on through that. And I have really challenged myself. But what that does is that as soon as you're past it and you realise, actually, once you get through it, actually, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Once you get through it, you suddenly start to build this internal strength, this internal power that makes you think, I could do anything. And you really feel good about yourself. But, you know, we all start from a place of fear sometimes, not all of us, but, you know, a lot of us do. And it's just a case of pushing past it. And once you do that, honestly, the world becomes your oyster. And I think what's really exciting now, Maya, is the internet. Another bit of good news. You know, it's not a case of having a message and desperately trying to get a book published or this, that and the other. We now have the internet, which is a level playing field of where you can actually publicly go out online through YouTube or Facebook and Twitter and this, that, and the other, and proclaim the good news that you have. You know, you don't have to be told, oh no, you can't do it. You know, you can get out there, but this is the proviso. You have to, all messages that you radiate out there must come from a starting point of love. And by using things like YouTube, I know you've got Momo and, you know, you with Good News, you know, Worldwide Good News. What you're doing essentially is you're starting this chain reaction of human spirit through the net. And when you can do that and you have the power to do that, you can change the world. You can actually change the world. Whereas before, you know, it was very, very sort of restricted as to how we, you know, got on. Now, you know, it's unbelievable. So, you know, for anybody who's thinking out there, you know, I've got so much good stuff. I want to talk about this. I'm going to get out there, but do it from a position of love and authenticity. You know, be yourself. Don't try and be somebody that you're not. Be yourself.
Exactly. And you're being yourself completely here, and I love it. I mean, the way we met is that, you know, being a friend and a partner to in crime with Momo and Worldwide Good News, I saw your beautiful note to him, and just something resonated, so I clicked on it, and I saw your beautiful self. So I was like, wow, she's so perfect for Worldwide Good News. She's like oozing good news. It's amazing.
Oh.
So I messaged you. And you messaged me immediately back, and it was like, bang, let's just do this. And this is why, you know, I'm interviewing you now. I'm giving you the space to shine on our little modest channel. And the idea is to bring the positive news and the positive change agents that are out there. And I'm so excited that I've had people from all around the world talk to me through Skype.
Yeah.
You're from New Zealand, even though you were born and raised in England, right?
I've been here 10 years on and off. Yeah.
On and off. That's so great.
People don't know where New Zealand is, you know. By the way, if you don't know where New Zealand is, here's Australia. Everybody must know where Australia is. We're right underneath Australia. We're sort of down under. We're down under. So, but the good thing about New Zealand is that we are the first place on the planet to see the new day. So we are the first light people, and I hope that's a metaphor for something, but it's a beautiful place, and you know, it's quite a young nation, so it's a nation of pioneers, and you know, we really punch above our weight, you know, as far as like sporting achievements, all blacks and what have you, and it's absolutely lovely to live here. But yeah, as you say, you know, you can live anywhere on the planet, and you know, if you've got something positive to put out there, you can do it really, really easily. And you know, I was watching the vloggies, which is a sort of an Oscars for people who are blogging online. And there's this lovely girl called Felicia Day, and majority of people have probably never heard of it. But if you're on YouTube a lot, she's in the gaming space, and she basically does this sort of series of spoof on gaming, and she has got this massive following. Millions of people tune into her every week. Now, she was a struggling actress in Hollywood, waiting on tables. Everybody said, no, you haven't got the face for it, hopeless, please, you know, don't waste our time, what have you. And now she's online, and she's probably getting a bigger audience and more success than she could have ever achieved in sort of like bit parts in Hollywood. But, you know, what she says is, you know, hey guys, big movie directors, you know, big producers, I don't need you anymore. It's not, you don't have to tell me I'm rubbish, because I actually know that I'm actually quite good. And even though I probably didn't have the self-esteem at the beginning when I started all this, I now actually do feel really good about myself, because I've been validated by millions of people watching me and thinking that I have quite a good message. So, you know, don't be scared to put it out there. You know, we all feel a bit nervous at first, but it's a case of just keep going, keep chipping through it. You know, I have started, I mean, the advertising agency, which I've just sold, I've got 4 kids as well, and my husband travels. I know. What was I thinking? My husband travels overseas a lot, and I just thought, you know what, I really need to do something. I really do. So in a completely mad moment, I copied an idea that I'd seen in Sweden, because we've also lived a bit in Sweden, and it was advertising on the side of a smart car. So one night, as you do, I basically ordered 25 cars from France, small cars from France, and had them sent over smart cars. And I suddenly sort of woke up the next morning in a cold sweat and thought, crumbs, I've had a nightmare. I dreamed last night that I'd ordered 25 cars from France. Did I do that? Yes, I did. And basically, these things were coming, and my husband was saying to me, Vix, right, you've ordered the cars, get on the phone and sell some advertising space now. And honestly, I was terrified, because I thought, I've been out of the market, the business market, for years. I've had these 4 kids, I'm up to my neck in nappies and children. I mean, I can't even speak properly. I couldn't even hold an adult conversation. And suddenly I was being thrust back into the business world, and I absolutely froze. I froze. And what I did, I waited till everybody had gone out of the office one day, and everybody was getting really panicked, because I wasn't actually selling any advertising space. I was thinking, oh, how are we going to pay for it all? And I just literally, I forced myself to make that call. Now, here's the funny thing, is that what you think is completely ridiculous, and how you feel that you purvey yourself to the world, other people actually think is okay. They actually think you're all right. And that's a really good idea. And so, well, what do you think, Mr. Brown? Hey, Vix, I think that's brilliant. Bring it on. What, you think that's okay? Fantastic. I will bring it on. Okay. And suddenly you start to build this confidence. You know, people are going, yeah, you're all right. You're okay. You make mistakes. And that's the whole point. You know what? We all make mistakes. And that's okay.
Exactly.
I'm quite open with people on my videos, you know, and say, oh, you know, oh, depression, I had that, blah, 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 blah. And I do that because I want to build a bridge with people to let them know that I've been there, and the only reason I can really talk about it and try and inspire people to, you know, help them with their own situations and what have you, is to say, look, I've actually been there, I've had my struggles, and be really honest about it. And yeah, it does make a difference. It makes a difference, definitely.
Yes, totally. Is there anything more you want to leave our viewers with, like something like great tips or anything for them to just have on a daily basis?
You know what? I think that what's really great is that, and we kind of lose sight of this, is that getting balance in life, and if we're all, you know, struggling or frazzled or in a really bad space, what's really good is that getting back to normality and getting peace into your life, all those tools are completely free. Okay, so what I mean by that is that at any time when you're feeling really bad, you can go out for a nice walk along the beach. You can get a restorative night's sleep. You can go and get a compassionate hug from somebody. You can, you know, go and find some kind words from somebody. All those things, and they bring you back. It brings you back to a space of balance and feeling better about yourself. You know, the things that you need to keep you in a high vibrational state are actually also very simple. Deep inward breaths, good food, fresh water. You know, it's not complicated. And when you embrace simplicity of how easy it is actually to get back to our normal, you know, if there is such a thing, you know, but a state where we feel really content and balanced, and it's actually quite simple, but we kind of overcomplicate it. And but you can do that. It's free, and that's great news. You know,
that is great news. And are you working on, besides the book and the wonderful website, are you working on any other surprises for people online?
I've got, I've got quite a few little freebies and stuff that I'm working on, some documents that, that I hope will help people get them inspired to just go for it and reach their goals and stuff. And I've got a few little things, coming up the line. Yes, I have indeed.
Great.
I have.
Awesome.
Yeah. But everybody can go to my website and download the book for free. It's quite a grunty document,
and I gave it to a few people. I'm like, you gotta see this. Awesome.
Thank you. Well, it's quite a big document, but honestly, it's fun and it's not heavy going, and it's hopefully might make a difference. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you, Vicky, so much.
Thank you, Maya. Thank you so much. And I just want to say, Maya, what you guys are doing, Momo Zone, Worldwide Good News, it's a phenomenal concept, and I am just really excited because I can just see it, going crazy, because we need that. I mean, especially as we're sort of moving towards 2012 and everybody's very unsure about what that means. I mean, it doesn't mean sort of total doom and gloom, but it does mean that we're going to get a shift in actually stop being so negative and try and develop a much more positive consciousness. And so, yeah, I just am so excited that I'm involved with you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You are part of us. You are part of the global consciousness, and that people are actually doing the change and being the change. Well, thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
New Zealand.
Pleasure.
Well, thank you.
Take care.
And this was you too, and this was Maya from the Worldwide Good News.